Well, howdy do. It says his hangout is now live. I don't know why I flip into AM radio voice every time that happens, but I am with one of the best voices in, or well, used to be radio back in the 80s, I guess 90s. Jeff Lyons. Jeff from Nebr is joining me. Jeff,
Damn.
tell me what you're drinking today. Well, I'm popping a bare bones Pilsner from Lost 40, 5%, 27 IBUs. As I pour, tell us what you're drinking.
Well, this is from Long Trail from Vermont. This is from their Farmhouse series, the second year of this beer. It's their Session IPA. It's a 4.75 ABV, 40 IBUs, and came out in June. This is a June bottling. And here it is. It's orange, kind of an orange amber. I had it poured a moment ago. There was a bigger head, but it's faded down. But it's an attractive looking orange color, I think. White, off-white.
It's called Farmhouse,
yeah,
but it's not a farmhouse ale. It's a session IPA.
There's a reason for that, and I should have looked it up before we went on the air. I think they've got a whole series of these farmhouse beers, but they're not.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, they're not a farmhouse style. I think it may have something to do with small batches. It's like a small batch series, and the new set has this one, and there's a Vienna lager in it, and let's see, there was a Hefeweizen, I think, and one other. And so I'm drinking the Session right now, which has got a lot of citrus and pineapple on the nose.
Very nice. Oh, I'm just having a Pilsner. I don't know what it's like in your neck of the woods. It's very hot here. It's about 92 with a heat index of well over 100. It's steamy. So I thought I'd go with something light, like just a light Pilsner to knock one back rather quickly.
Yeah, no, it's a little cooler than it was. Got up to about 92 degrees, 93 degrees today, but now the sun's down. It's probably in the upper 70s, but so it's a little more comfortable. But it's going to be very humid this weekend, and it's going to be in the 90s, very humid this weekend. So it'll be a hot one. I might have to get myself out to a local lake for the first time in like 2 years.
It's good sitting in a bar weather. It's like Irish sunblock. It's good to be sitting in a pub right about now.
But otherwise, that's it's pretty decent beer. These whole farmhouse series they put them out every now and again, and they do different styles. I guess they're just small batch beers. So, but I have no complaints about them. None of them have. I really don't have any complaints. I wouldn't put them as A+ type beers or anything, but they're all pretty decent. They all fit the styles well, and they're enjoyable to drink. Usually buy them in the mixed 12-pack, so I go through the whole thing pretty easily. So yeah.
Well, sometimes a beer like that's what's called for, isn't it? Especially when it's so hot like it is right now. Just something that you could enjoy. It's got some flavor, but it's not necessarily that crazy, beer geek beer that you've got to really wax over. Just something enjoyable that kind of helps beat the heat.
Yeah, and I don't have any Pilsners in the house right now, so a Session IPA seems to kind of fit the bill.
It does. That does kind of fit the bill, doesn't it?
So, it's a light beer, basically, except although it does have some bite. It's 40 IBUs, so got a little bite in it at the end, which is kind of nice. And it's a decent beer, a lot of citrus and pineapple on it. Pretty decent. Not really in your face, but really, really got a lot of hop character.
Right on. Now, Jeff and I, if you've watched any of us, Jeff and I haven't done a video for a while, but we've done several videos together over the last few years, I guess. We've known each other on various social media for probably about years. We started a Facebook group together, I don't know, about a year and a half ago called Drinking Whiskey. If you happen to be a whiskey drinker and are interested, it's a very laid-back group. It's not for it may not necessarily be for serious whiskey connoisseurs, although we do have several whiskey connoisseurs in the group.
It's of course I do all those New England beers, and I was able to find a New England whiskey I posted on our page the other day. You may have noticed.
That's very nice. Yeah, I'd like to see an in-depth review, even a video on that. I think that'd be different for you.
I had a lot of. The cinnamon was what jumped out on that one to me.
See, instead of New England beer reviews, if you did a video for that, you could keep your NEBR and call it New England booze reviews.
There you go. Yeah, New England. Oh yeah, I could do that. Could go New England beverage reviews too if I wanted to do some.
Yeah, you can do
I want to do some Adirondack. I've
You know,
already,
yeah. You know, if you do local soda pops,
yeah,
you know, around here, you know, I've got a few places that do local root beers that I really like. But yeah, there you go.
yeah. We have the Polar Soda Company. I don't know if you ever get that in your area, but the Polar Soda Company is in Massachusetts. Well, and they're all over the Northeast, around the Atlantic seaboard mostly. They probably don't get
Oh,
down here,
really? Okay. I don't guess I'm familiar with them.
but they're pretty well known around this area. So, and of course, Maine has Moxie. Moxie from Maine. You never heard of Moxie?
Nope, nope, sure haven't.
Really? Wow, I thought that was. It's been around for 150 years. I thought that everyone had at least heard of it, but they hadn't had a chance to try it.
No, I'm not
Kind of like
familiar with them.
kind of like the original Dr. Pepper.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that. All right, that's interesting. Oh,
So,
excuse me.
but it's a Maine tradition. And you can find it all over the place around here.
So, what have you been up to this weekend, Jeff?
Not a whole lot. It's just gonna be so darn hot, you know. I'm not really planning too much. Oh, I'm thinking of going to the new Star Trek movie that's coming out.
I want to see that very badly. Yeah, I do.
It's I don't know. I don't like to go to big movies on opening night. I sometimes wait a week, but you know it's gonna be so hot. Maybe I'll go on a Sunday matinee to get out of the heat or something. I don't know. But I'd be interested in seeing the new, especially since the actor who played Chekhov was killed here a couple of months ago.
Yeah, that was wild, huh? It was a young guy. I mean, he had a lot of promise too.
Yeah, and he really had the part down well, at least in the first two movies, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really a Trekkie. I used to be. I've always been a fan of the show, but I'm not an expert. I have a lot of friends who can answer every possible question you can imagine about Star Trek, but I can't do that. But still, that actor was quite good. I should know his name because it was all over the news, but it tells you how much I'm not much of a Trekkie.
Anton Yelchin?
Yes, something like that. Yes. Yeah. So I'm interested in seeing that. I don't go to movies too often. It's not really I just don't go to a lot of movies. There's some that I do look forward to, but yeah, I see maybe one or two a year, maybe.
The wife Seamus and I used to see about 3 movies a year. That was our thing. And they were mostly kind of blockbuster action film types of movies. But to be honest with you, we haven't gone to a movie since we lost Seamus. So yeah. I'll probably wait till it comes out on DVD. But the question for you is, how do you like the reimagining of the story? The previous 2 and this third one. How do you like the Star Trek being reimagined?
I think they've done a nice job with it. They've sort of kept the basic storyline alive. They've made some tweaks, but I think they've done a real nice job with it. I don't think they've gone over the top that much. Well, the special effects, of course, are 10,000 times better than they were originally.
Yes, that's the great thing about watching sci-fi movies now, or even superhero movies, is now they're not. Back in the 70s, they were mostly up until Star Wars came out. They were always cheesy, but now with the technology we have, the superhero and the science fiction, it is just very nice to watch those special effects.
But I think the new stories are good. They pretty much keep the characters, the basic characters, the way they always were. The actors who play the roles have kind of picked up their traits pretty well, I think. How do
you like Chris Pine as Captain Kirk?
Yes, yeah. I mean, he's pretty. I think he's pretty good. I liked him in the 2 movies. They make him a little more of a. They make him out to be a little more. What's the word? Not aggressive. He's very much the original Captain. Of course, was jump to it, take care of all of the business. I think they make him more hyperactive than that. But other than that, I don't really notice a serious big difference in it all.
No, I think they all do their parts pretty well. I mean, Zachary Quinto, I think, does a decent Spock. I really like Simon Pegg as Scotty. Simon Pegg brings a lot of character, a lot of comedy to the part. Yeah. So I think they've done pretty well with staying true to the characters, but still giving them a place to go and evolve.
Right. Yeah. And so it's fun. And I've seen the first 2, as I said, but beyond that, I haven't read up much on the characters. I know the new movie is supposed to. Simon Pegg, I think, had a hand in the writing part of it. I think so. I believe that's the case. Yeah, that's what I read somewhere. We probably have, if we have Trekkies watching us, I'm sure they'll correct us.
Well, yeah, see, that's the thing. I've never been a Trekkie either, but I have watched. I didn't, I've never been I've never been. I did watch a lot of Next Generation. I did see a lot of that series of movies that came out, but I do like the way it's been reimagined with this retelling of the story.
Well, I actually in the 1980s went to a lot of science fiction conventions,
Oh,
and
really?
I actually saw Michelle Nichols at one of them from Lieutenant Uhura, the original Lieutenant Uhura, and I saw James Doohan, Scotty, the original Scotty, at one of them, and I actually saw Walter Koenig, the original Chekhov, at one. And I saw George Takei, which is kind of a neat story. When I saw him, I don't know if you've ever been to a convention. I haven't been in years, but they have a kind of what they do is they have a lot of activities going on, but there's usually a big room where you can buy merchandise, and they have all these activities going on where some of the various guest actors who are meeting the fans are doing presentations on stage. So all the fans are in there in those rooms watching those presentations. And I skipped whatever presentation it was that day and went into the retail room. There were only about 10 other people in the room at the time. And then here comes George Takei walking through the retail room, checking out all the goodies. And I chatted with him briefly. It was kind of neat, actually. I mean, all the people that go to these things get to meet these actors, but it's kind of neat to sort of have this sort of one-on-one with not a lot of people around and waiting in line to take your turn kind of thing. So I'll never forget that.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. That was sometime in 85, 86. I don't remember. It's been a long time. I haven't been to anything like that in a long time. So, but I guess the Comic-Con is going on this weekend or something, or did last week in San Diego.
Well, I have to admit that I've never been to one of those.
Neither have I. But, I just know, I think I read it was going on somewhere this weekend. San Diego? I don't know.
I've got a new one this weekend that I haven't popped yet. It's the Mother's Imperial, it's a Bermuda-style Imperial Three Blind Mice. It's an Imperial Brown Ale. But this version is aged in rum barrels with and then brewed with lime and ginger. So I'm looking forward to this one at some point. But right now it's a little warm for this bad boy.
I didn't even know there was something called a Bermuda style.
The story is it's named after a cocktail. They've tried to make the beer around the cocktail. Mother's Brown riffs on the real Bermuda Triangle rum, ginger spice, and fresh lime inspired cocktail. So there you go.
Okay. Well, there you go.
But at the moment, I'm just drinking a Pilsner, my friends.
Yeah, I wish I had some. I mean, I actually, this is my second beer tonight, so I had a Pilsner earlier in the evening. It was from, no, it wasn't. That was yesterday. It wasn't. That was yesterday. The beer I had earlier in the evening was another Long Trail. It was their Vienna Lager. So, but I did have a Pilsner yesterday. It was pretty good. It was from Ipswich, out of Massachusetts.
Oh, nice. Okay, I haven't had anything from them, but I've heard of them.
And they, the proceeds to that were going to help a local local organization that protects the local drinking water in the Ipswich area. So it's their 25th anniversary ale. So a pretty good Pilsner.
Oh, nice. Okay.
We're pretty much right on target, Ipswich probably isn't much out of the Northeast, I don't think. It's probably pretty much New England and New York, maybe. They might get into Jersey, I don't know.
Well, I was talking earlier, you and I have a whiskey group together. I picked up a new whiskey that I haven't tried yet. It's an Irish whiskey, and I didn't have much Irish whiskey around. It's called Quiet Man. It's an 8-year-old single malt, and I haven't had it before. In fact, I just recently saw it today and wanted to pick it up. Are you familiar with that one at all?
No, I've not heard of that. It doesn't even ring a bell, and I browsed through the different Irish whiskey selections at my local liquor stores, but that one doesn't jump out at me as what I've seen. Of course, I don't know. It doesn't ring a bell, no.
Well, as I finish my Pilsner, we'll end this particular session without running too long. Jeff, any final words as we end this session?
No, I think that it's just a quiet night for me. I'm just kind of enjoying a beer or two and That's about it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. In fact, I just got home. My wife and I, my wife had to do some shopping earlier. Then we went out to dinner, and then we just got back. And then I contacted you to see if you want to do a video because I just thought, well, I'd sit outside and have a beer or two. So, anyways, hey, I want to thank everybody that may have this or may watch us in the future. I'm Tommy Beer Whisperer. I'm glad to be joined by Jeff Lyons of Nebr. If any of my viewers haven't seen Jeff, Jeff does a great job with New England beers, and I'm trying to get him to branch out to do some other stuff. I'm Tommy Beer Whisperer. I want to thank Jeff for joining us, and we'll talk to you later.
Catch you later.
And I think we're off the air. It took